Now, finally, someone have spoken the truth, told the truth straight to the UN, to the United Nations. Volodomyr Zelensky has said that now straight, that please, the United Nations, please come to the table and admit that you cannot do anything. Admit that you're not able to do anything else than talk. The United Nations is only talk. And why is the United Nations only talk? Simply because of the veto system, the veto rights. I've said this for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, that we really need a World Senate. We need an organization, an institution with a political mandate. We need an institution with authority and mandate, and the United Nations is not an organization like that because they don't have any mandate. As soon as they approach a decision, someone is going to veto that decision. So it's just, as I've said in hundreds of videos before, sometimes clear and sometimes not so clear, but so the United Nations is a club, it's a lot of wasted resources, it's a lot of wasted time and a lot of wasted money. It's a lot of high salaries and personal private drivers and free first-class airplane tickets and free lunches and buffets and free protection and apartments and houses and that the member states pay for. But what is it that we get in return? Of course, I'm not saying that United Nations is not doing good things, but when it comes to crisis, when it comes to war and crisis in this world, then the United Nations doesn't have any mandate, doesn't have any authority. They're not able, they're not capable of performing, they cannot take action, they cannot show authority, they cannot implement authority, they cannot enter a situation and be the highest authority in that situation. And that's what we need. We need an institution that can enter any kind of situation and be the highest authority in that situation. So we need some kind of a world police institution that is not only a super NATO, that is not a super alliance with a strong mandate, but which also has a strong ideological side to it that is both important for education, for knowledge around the world, and also just for the protection of human rights. So we need a World Senate. We need a World Senate. There's just no point in thinking otherwise. We need a World Senate, and if we cannot constitute a World Senate that could be a part of the United Nations, then we have to do something about the United Nations, same as Volodymyr Zelensky now says, the president of the Ukraine, who is currently now the witness of the deepest, most horrible war crimes and atrocities in his own country. And there is nothing that the world police can do, because there is no world police. There is nothing that United Nations can do, because there is no United Nations when it comes to action, when it comes to authority and mandate. There's something called the United Nations in the United Nations building in New York, where people sit and waste a lot of time and a lot of money and talk about this and that. But quick, supreme action of authority, of supreme authority, we don't have that. And that is very, 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 very sad, because there are so many countries in this world who are stepping over the line, who needs to be confronted by an institution of the highest authority. Any country in this world can be confronted by this highest authority. America can be confronted by it if they do something really wrong or trespasses or transcends the line of human rights and of proper decency. China can be confronted, Russia can be confronted by it, as in this case during the war in the Ukraine. So finally someone said the truth directly to the faces of the helpless United Nations, who's sitting there with their salaries and their suits and their private chauffeurs, and hoping that the crisis is not getting too bad, because then it will be obvious to anyone that the United Nations is an impotent organization that cannot do anything because of the veto system, and also because that there are certain things within the Constitution of the United Nations that is not clear when it comes to authority and mandate. And it should be clear on authority and mandate, because we need a world police. We need an institution of higher authority, of the highest authority when it comes to war crimes, because we cannot allow war crimes anymore. We cannot allow these things that should have ended 300-400 years ago, and especially we cannot allow it after the Second World War. We should have understood that this is just something that cannot happen anymore, and we have to make sure that the institution in this world with the highest authority, that they have mandate, they have political mandate, they have authority to accomplish things, to take action, to enter any kind of situations with all the resources, all the force, all the military resources that is needed to enter with the highest authority. It just has to be like that. We need an institution of authority and mandate, and a World Senate, the World Senate, which could be a part of the UN, could be such an institution, unless the United Nations becomes that World Senate by improving the rules and regulations and the makeup of that institution, so that it really gains mandate and authority. Because if it is always subjected to a possible veto from Russia, from China, from America, or from the Arab world, so what we need is a World Senate. We need an institution with the highest authority. We need that. We need an institution with the highest authority that has political mandate and true potency and power when it comes to entering a situation that just cannot be accepted. And if the United Nations cannot do that, then the United Nations have to accept that such a World Senate will be constituted within the United Nations, outside the United Nations, or simply as a new version of the United Nations. Because we cannot let this happen anymore. We need an institution that can take action on behalf of the world when it comes to protecting human rights. Okay.